A state of emergency remains in place in BC, where hundreds of wildfires have forced evacuations. Sebastien Sevallo is a professional firefighter based in BC and joins us now. Sebastien, as you heard us talking about the wildfires earlier in the show and talking to Alyssa about the situation, we mentioned we were going to be talking to you and to get your perspective from a firefighter. Give us an idea of what these crews are facing.
Yeah, great question. These crews are facing an unprecedented situation. I mean, this year, the wildfire season has been raging out of control. I mean, currently we have over 380 wildfires in the province. 160 of those would be considered out of control. So that is a monumental situation, and these crews have been putting in an insane amount of work and dedication to get these fires under control. We've got firefighters, the wildland firefighters battling these fires across the province. Courageously, we've also got over 650 structural firefighter personnel deployed across the province, with hundreds coming in from Mexico, South Africa, and other places as well. So it's a pretty dire situation.
Yesterday, Sebastien, BC's premier urging residents to stop tampering with firefighting equipment, saying emphatically, you are not helping. Do we know what exactly is being taken, why it's being taken, and how this is hindering the plans of firefighters?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this situation, it's so difficult because you've got people that are taking firefighting equipment from the front lines, from storage places, to use in their own homes. I mean, well, that's what we hope they're using it for. But the reality is that this equipment is, so necessary on the front lines. They're taking fire pumps, they're taking hoses, they're taking ATVs in some situations, some side-by-sides. Like, this is equipment that once it disappears from the front line, we can't just go buy more of it. There's no budget. It's all basically out there. So we can't just go get another one. So when somebody takes this piece of equipment is gone for the season. So this is very important for people to not touch any of this equipment, leave it up to the professionals, leave it where it is. It is going to be used properly. We can promise you that.
And it's also important to abide by advisories and orders that are in place. There are a number of travel advisories for the area, evacuation orders for several communities due to the wildfires. Talk to us about the importance of heeding this advice and following these orders and not becoming complacent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, with the travel advisories, it's basically stay home. Don't come to these places. All the hotels, all the Airbnbs, everything, those are needed for evacuees. They're needed for the first responders, for the firefighters. So that's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, your vacation is unfortunately canceled. Moving on from that, the evacuation orders and the alerts, please listen to the advice of officials, because if you ignore an evacuation order, that means that's another firefighter, that's another first responder that has to put themselves at risk to come and get you if things change. And that has happened time and time again, where firefighters are having to put themselves at risk to go get people that are ignoring the orders. This just happened a few days ago in Kelowna, and it's a really unfortunate situation where somebody has to put themselves at risk to go and get someone that's ignoring the order.
Sebastien, that is a great point, because the moment you decide to stay for the firefighters, you're no longer talking about saving a structure, you're talking about saving lives. And by staying put, then that firefighter is putting themselves at risk to save you.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we get it. We understand. We're all, homeowners. We all have property that we want to protect. And in many of these cases, firefighters themselves that have lost their home in the fire are out there battling that fire. So we totally understand, but it's best for everybody if we're all on the same page. Listen to the order, get out when you can.
For sure. Excuse me. Now, since we are talking about evacuations, it's important for every family to have an evacuation kit, Sebastien, at the ready. You've got a table full in front of you there. Can you take us through some of the basics that should be in everybody's evacuation kit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are just two, off-the-shelf kits that you can get at a variety of different retailers. They've got stuff like food and water, some basic shelter, first aid, like just all the basics, basically stuff to keep you alive for about, keep you safe for 72 hours. But you'd want to have a go bag at the ready. You want to have your essentials ready to go, because if an official comes knocking at your door and says you have 2 hours to vacate your home, you don't want to be running around wondering what you're going to grab. Have your medication, have your insurance documents, have things like a list of all the items in your home that are, major items that, in the event of a loss, these kind of things, and basically just have it by the door, have it in the car, wherever you need it. I mean, here it's, we've got some water, we've got some food here that's, shelf stable. You can just boil some water and eat up. So yeah, it's a really great idea to have one of these ready for you.
Such important information. Sebastien, thank you so much for this update.
No problem. Thanks, guys.